2019, a woman living in Dallas, Texas, began taking a supplement in hopes that it would support her hormones and overall health. To her at the time, the product seemed pretty natural and healthy, just a simple herbal supplement. However, in just a few short months, she was rushed to the hospital after noticing abdominal pain, fatigue, and yellowing of the eyes. 23-year-old Emily Goss had just experienced acute liver failure. If we roll back a few years, we can find another story, but this time from the perspective of someone on the opposite side. This is Ryan Zaluka, founder and ex-CEO of multi-million-dollar fitness company bodybuilding.com. He was accused of knowingly selling dietary supplements that were actually drugs in disguise. Shortly after, he pleaded guilty in court and proceeded to pay a $500,000 fine to avoid imprisonment. These two stories are unfortunately just the tip of the iceberg, a taste of the dark secrets hidden behind the curtains of clever marketing, loose regulation, and tactics that leverage your psychological perception of treatments.
Taking vitamins, a lot of us take them, we take supplements, it's just really part of
People think it's healthy, right?
They do, it's part of our daily routine for many of us.
Are you having conversations with people who know what they're doing, and are they somebody that you can trust?
First things first, we have to ask a very important question. How do these types of scandals even happen in the first place? And why doesn't the FDA, despite its multi-billion-dollar budget, seem to be doing anything about it? To answer this question, we must briefly consider some difficulties and regulatory challenges when it comes to ensuring the safety of dietary supplements. These challenges first arose around 2 decades ago, where more than 29,000 supplement products were on the US market. Documented analytical methods or reference materials, on the other hand, rarely ever accompanied those 29,000 products.
How much information is inside of these bottles that we just don't have access to?
This problem has only gotten worse, with this review paper published just a few years ago discussing the estimated 85,000 supplement products which found their way into the US marketplace. The explosive growth of the supplement industry is moving at such an astounding pace that safety regulations simply can't keep up. Fast forward to now, we begin to see a massive chain of problems that have manifested from this. One of the most well-discussed ones being contamination. For example, this clinical review paper outlined how certain vitamins were found to be cross-contaminated with steroids, the result of them being manufactured on the very same production line. This is also without factoring how other aspects of health and safety standards may not necessarily be met by these supplement manufacturers, leaving consumers like yourself vulnerable to dangerous substances such as heavy metals. On top of that, another potentially dangerous problem is that, unlike drugs, the FDA does not heavily regulate the purity or guarantee the effectiveness of dietary supplements. This means that the supplement you are purchasing may not contain the aforementioned dosages or ingredients listed on the label. An example of this was exposed by a 2013 study which investigated the authenticity of 44 herbal products from 12 different companies. Almost 60% of the products tested contained species not listed on the labels, and a third of the products had contaminants or fillers not listed on the label, some of which were known to pose serious health risk to consumers. Case in point being when a supplement claiming to contain St. John's wort was actually found to be Senna Alexandrina, with no traces of St. John's wort to be found. Now, Senna has been approved by the FDA to be used as a non-prescription oral laxative, but prolonged usage is shown to cause liver damage and gastrointestinal distress.
The bigger concern is that herbal and dietary supplements can actually cause a lot of damage in the liver. As a class of agents, herbal and dietary supplements are the second most common cause of drug-induced liver injury.
The safety of dietary supplements isn't the only source of concern for consumers either, because their effectiveness is also equally as important. Most people probably spend money on supplements under the impression that it will elicit some sort of positive health or performance outcome. However, supplements don't have to convince you that their supplement works through scientific research. I'm not talking about the lack of FDA regulation in holding manufacturers accountable when it comes to guaranteeing or proving the efficacy of their supplement. I'm more so talking about how dietary supplements can kind of just let your own primal cognitive biases do all the heavy lifting. I'm sure most people watching this will have probably heard of terms like placebo and nocebo. For those who aren't too familiar with those terms, a placebo effect is when a positive effect is either observed or reported by a patient once they are aware that they are undergoing treatment, even if the treatment is purposely designed to be a sham. So, if I gave you a pill with no active ingredient and told you that it would improve your skin and hair, there's a very good chance that you'll actually start reporting improvements in your skin and hair. Now, the nocebo effect is the other side of the same coin. If I gave you a pill telling you that it would give you headaches, chances are you would start reporting more headaches. These effects are observed and have to be accounted for in almost every clinical trial. A great example of it is this 2014 clinical trial where they directly investigated the placebo effect of a sham supplement on weight loss. One group was told that they were receiving the real supplement. The second group was told that they had a 50% chance of receiving the real supplement and a 50% chance of receiving placebo, and the third and final group received no capsules as a control. Now, just to clarify, for both groups 1 and 2, they were all just receiving placebo as the researchers wanted to observe how their expectations can influence certain outcomes. The results were fairly interesting. Both the 50% group and the no capsule group reported decreasing belief in the supplement's effectiveness over time. But the incredible thing was, subjects who believed they were 100% taking the real deal because the researchers told them they were, those people experienced an increase in their belief that the supplement was working over time. Another thing potentially even more interesting, although no subjects were receiving any real treatment, the consent form listed potential side effects including headaches and nausea. One reason the authors did this was simply just to make the placebo look more legitimate. But the result was over 14% of subjects reported headaches as an adverse effect they experienced after taking the supplement. There were even 4 reports of fungal infections. Perhaps this might seem almost comedic from our perspective because we know for a fact that these supplements damn well had nothing to do with the subjects' headaches or, God forbid, fungal infections, but to these subjects, the effects felt very, very real. So, after all this, you might be asking the question, are all supplements useless garbage and dishonest marketing scams? The answer is actually no. There are supplements that may be highly effective, especially if they are applied in the correct situations. There are also plenty of companies which manufacture their products with integrity and don't over-extrapolate claims. But the most important thing to consider is context. Take a look at this study in 2020, where researchers found that iron deficiency was common amongst older hospitalized patients. This led to problems such as increased fatigue and impaired muscular function. These problems were mitigated through an exercise routine, and the iron deficient group which received supplementation saw greater improvements in strength than the group which didn't. So it's not that supplements don't work. They absolutely did in the case we just explored, but it was in the context where patients were hospitalized, were genuinely deficient in iron, and were combining it with exercise to receive a modest benefit over the group which didn't supplement. With this in mind, what is the main takeaway? Diagnosing yourself with some sort of nutrient deficiency, then finding the shadiest bottle of 100% organic tree bark extract might not be the most intelligent way to go about things. What could be more appropriate is asking yourself these questions. How much evidence is in support of the supplement that I am planning on taking? Is the evidence only from rodents or shaky mechanistic research? Have I gone to my doctor to test for micronutrient deficiencies? Am I buying from a trusted brand with third-party testing to ensure potency? Are the benefits of the supplement worth exposing myself to the potential risks that a lack of safety standards pose? These questions don't always have black and white answers, and it can often be much easier to answer them and make an informed decision if you have a registered dietitian or health professional by your side. Hopefully, this video has helped you gain some insight into the issue, and I hope you have a great day.